All right. Well, that was pretty wild. Sorry about that, everybody. Let's start getting everybody back here on stage real quick.
That was wild.
Yeah, I've never seen a full stage rug, but here we go.
Listen, I mean, Discord might be the new Twitter.
Apparently.
Hi, how are you?
All right, there we go. Hopping back down.
Perfect. And Nifty Base, just so you know, I'm going to call everyone up in a few minutes. I just want to first let the crowd form. I want to have a quick conversation with Nyla and Kat first. Nyla, how are you today?
Oh, hey guys. How are you guys today?
Good. Kat, how are you? Kat is muted. Kat, you know what you should do is you should leave Discord and then you should re-enter Discord, close down the app, and then come right back in. I could see like this a sign language of I'm going to move you, Kat, down to the audience, and then I'll pull you back up. Or so, Nyla, what have you been up to today? You've had quite a busy day of speaking now.
Oh yeah. Nothing really today. I just have school, you know.
Okay, Kat, can we hear you now? Kat, so why don't you sing a song from your new album? There we go.
Is this to test my audio?
Yeah, that was to test your audio. So now we know. Now that we know that you're here. So, first off, I love that we're doing this. Thank you.
I'm so grateful for this. Thank you. Thank you for, by the way, and I know I speak for everyone listening, like, thank you for being such a pioneer and leader in this space. Like, Nyla and I are like your little prodigies. Like, I'm just so grateful that you really, you're such a pioneer and an icon in this space, and you were doing what nobody was doing, and you changed the way, a lot of people look at NFTs, myself included. So I just want to say thank you for all the work that you put into this. I wouldn't be where I'm at without it, for sure.
Well, listen, thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm very fortunate. I've had a lot of mentors in the space that have helped hold my hand. I see one of them in the audience with Mandwar, which if you scroll down, you'll see is a purple and blue skull, which is part of the NFT Guild, and he's been one of the most instrumental people in sort of shaping my perspective on things. But also, just like the community's been amazing, and the team has been amazing. But for everyone, in full disclosure, because this is not the first time Kat and I have met. We actually know each other quite well. She's one of my closest friends, and so over the course of today, you may hear me make some bad jokes. Nyla, don't worry, I'll keep them clean.
Maybe hear you make some bad jokes.
There'll be 13. There'll be 8 at age 13 level. But I would say this is you dropped your album today, correct? Or yesterday? When
Yeah.
was it? It
Yeah,
dropped it.
no, today. This is the
And
first NFT exclusive album in history. So, I think I'm in the
amazing,
club. You'd been telling me to get on
amazing.
the train. I'm like, I'm on the train. I'm on the NFT train. You're like, you're not. I think I'm on it now, Keith.
Now, Nyla, I have a question for you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, so no mute, no mute and unmute. We're gonna stay totally off mute, off mute the whole entire time. Okay, it's gonna go back and forth. I want to hear I want to hear you laugh at my bad jokes at times. But here's my question to you, Nyla. Right? When did you drop your first NFT?
That was back in March, I believe. The
March of
14th?
2021, right? March 14th, 2021. Okay, and Long Neckie Ladies came out when?
I think around July 27th, I believe.
Okay, so you have endless experiences in the NFT space. This is Kat's first experience in the NFT space. What would be your advice to Kat as she's now entering into the NFT space?
Advice, okay. Well, I would just say, just be yourself in the NFT space. Everyone's pretty positive and encouraging. I think it's a great place for artists, because, artists really, they they're kind of sensitive when they put out work and whatnot. So I think the NFT space is kind of a good place to put out your work because, it's kind of like more positive other than, negative. So I would just say be yourself, really.
Wait a minute, hold on. This
You're
is amazing.
amazing. I'm obsessed with her. Like I love your I mean, I have the gold in my ear that was a gift from Keith, so I'm very proud of that. And she's like she was, the first woman to be head of government in Israel. And it's like a personal thing. And Keith knows it that I would love it the most. But I really love your Frida Kahlo. Like I love that one. And I'm gonna be going for it. So whoever has it, get ready.
Well, hold on. So there's 10 of them, and
I know,
there's
with the
someone
different backgrounds.
right, but one of them is very special. One of them is was owned by someone in the audience, JPEG Hodl, who actually gave the red border, sold at like cost, I think it was, the red border to a teacher. Uh,
Mm.
and like who would never have been able to have access to it. And I think that the last Frida sold for 6 ETH, I think it was, and that was not the red border. So like we're talking about a piece that,
I
Nyla,
know.
like her red border one would be closer to $25,000. JPEG Hodl, I know, is like literally blushing right now, right? As I
I'm
bring his name
saving
up on
my
this one.
cool cats money. My cool cats
It's,
ETH
now
to
wait, now
pay
let
for
me
it.
ask you a question. Kat, let me ask you a question. Like what
There we go.
like so the flip side, right? Nyla has an unbelievable amount of experience in the NFT space, right? Even though it's just been March to now, right? Like that is still a lot of experience in it.
And she's
And
and Nyla, you're 12 years old. Like what? You are so epic.
I'm
so
actually
what's
13 now.
Okay, oh my gosh, 13. Just
wait a minute.
crushing it.
So the other night I watched The Parent Trap, and a lot of people might
Oh,
not know this, but Kat Graham was
Keith,
in The
no,
Parent Trap. And how
changing the
old were you? How old
subject.
were you?
It's not with
How
this.
old were you when you were in The Parent Trap? How
Oh, I
old were you
don't
when you were in The
remember.
Parent
I
Trap?
might have been like 8 or 9. I don't
All
know.
right. Okay, so now you remember because you've been in the limelight, since Parent Trap forward. Like, what advice would you give Nyla as a 13-year-old coming up? Because, like, in full disclosure, when I announced and we announced that Nyla was going to be the Timepiece Artist in Residence, like, Kat was the first person to say, like, "Oh my God, I love this so much. Like, I see so much of me and her, right?" And so, like,
Yeah.
what would be
We also
your
look like
advice to
sisters.
Nyla?
We look very alike. Nyla, you really don't need my advice. You have such this you have an inner guidance system that is leading you in all the right ways, just follow your art and let your art be your guide and don't question your art or yourself and I know it says it's corny, just to say believe in yourself, but uh, as you become an adult and or a teenager and you start to look at social media and spend a lot of time on the internet, sometimes those insecurities can come at you. So I would definitely say listen to yourself first.
Thank you.
Now,
You're
Nyla,
welcome.
before I start asking the two of you questions, do you have any questions for Kat, or Kat, do you have any questions for Nyla?
I
um
mean,
so many. So
Well, let's
many, but it's like I know that you know I don't want this to be like Clubhouse where we're on it for 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to pick your brain, maybe one on one once we get off the Discord. But I would say, what do you think about Keith? Like, what were you
no, no, no.
thinking
This
when
is not
he was?
about me. This is
No,
this is
no,
this is
no.
about
I'm
this is about a
curious.
special
I'm
conversation about
curious because
creativity.
I'll tell you when you pulled me up on stage for Clubhouse when you were auctioning off NFT covers for time. I didn't know what you were doing. I didn't know what you were talking about. And I was so lost. when he told you that he wanted you to be the artist in residence and told you about timepieces and his idea, which has never been done before. Nyla, what were you thinking about this man?
I mean, oh, I just thought he was amazing. I thought it was crazy, but I thought he was just amazing. You know?
So
This
cool.
is degrading into nothingness. Okay, like we're supposed to talk
Okay.
about creativity and good stuff. And by the way, just for what it's worth, I cannot wait until the two of you see what this po-op looks like. And to everyone in the audience, this po-op is so good that both Lane and I, when we saw it, said OMFG at the exact same time. Lane, will you please vouch for that?
Because I'm so excited about it. So thinking
Wait,
about
can you actually just put the po-op image into the Q&A so everyone can see it? Because like this is going to change it all to the conversation on creativity. Okay, I want you all to see what the po-op looks like for this conversation. Wayne is going to post this into us. This is the best po-op I think we've done to date. And then and Kat, can you see the Q&A? And Nyla, can you see the Q&A? I want you to see it at the same time.
I'm having deja vu from my first time in Clubhouse right now, so I don't see
Okay, so it
anything
just
but
got
all these
posted.
awesome people in the audience.
It's a long necky vampire.
Oh no. I don't see it.
You don't
just
see the
text
long
it to me,
necky
Lane.
vampire?
That's so cool.
I'm watching all the comments now. So just so everyone knows, the whole reason we brought Kat and Nyla together, besides the fact that I just think these two women are amazing, is because I wanted to do a poem with a long necky vampire.
That's great.
So Kat, like this is amazing for a second. I love that today is the launch of your album of Toro Gato. Can you like step back for a second? Like I know I have pulled you into this space, but like you were very willing.
By
Like,
my
and you
ear.
were so open, but you were open to listening to it. And I know that
I
it took.
wasn't.
I know it took. It
I
took like a
wasn't
month.
though.
It took like a month. Trust me, it's taken some of my friends 10 months. It took you 1 month, right? Of like literally every day being like, get this, get this, get this, please, 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 please. And then and so like, okay, so you're now in the space, right?
So I'm
And
now in this
you
space, and I really go for it.
no. It's like, how does it feel like a Torgato is a musical NFT? And really, there's only one other musician that I've seen, like Blau does a lot, right? Like in the space with royalty, but like I haven't really seen a tremendous amount of music. It hasn't really emerged yet. So you're really at the forefront of being in the music space. And then the other question I would ask is so many people knew you as an actor, and so many people knew you as a UN humanitarian, which we will talk about later. But like nobody knew you really as a singer, and so like you're sort of like this weird triple threat.
Yeah, the whole process has been really interesting. I remember sitting with Darren, who is really the Toro and Toro Gato, and he's here and he can maybe speak on it in a bit. But we were sitting in quarantine in Canada. I was filming something, and I remember we were listening to you speak. It was like the big event of the week was listening to you on Clubhouse. And we were already interested in this kind of crypto space because he had a script that he was developing, and it was always shrouded in mystery and pretty intimidating. And I hear Bitcoin and Ethereum, and my eyes would go blank. And then you did it in a way, and you spoke about it in a way that made me feel like maybe this wouldn't be so scary. I had done records before. I'd done records on Interscope Pop Records. I'd worked with Babyface and did this kind of indie route for a while, but I knew that the new project that I was doing required something that I wanted to feel like a museum, a safe space, and I couldn't find an outlet. And Darren, through, we really got into the NFT space because of that Clubhouse that you hosted, and we got really into it, and we Darren started, pulling up a bunch of different NFT companies that were doing it. I don't remember. I think we did meet with Blau and Cooper and a bunch of different people that gave me some really great advice. And I just fell in love with Michelle and Nicole at Yellow Heart, and Josh Katz, who's the founder. He is like the heart of Yellow Heart. He is here too, which is really exciting. But not only am I the first artist to do this in the way that I'm doing it, thanks to your guidance, Keith, but Yellow Heart actually has a system where you can stream the record, and it's also a visual album, which Darren produced and directed everything. You can do that within the actual app, which is also the first of its kind. So, we're all in this space that is continuously blossoming and growing and expanding, and it's really cool to be a part of it. And it's okay to not know what you're doing. Just keep moving forward, and you might be the first one to do it a certain way. And that's what this taught me, is it's okay to feel like you don't know what you're doing. Just go for it.
I mean, the one thing I will say, and I think is fascinating, and Nyla sort of talked about it at the beginning, and Nyla, jump in here at any point if you wanna add to this, is it's amazing in the Web3 space when you put something out, the real-time feedback that you have. I'll give you like a really fun example. We just put out and I wasn't expecting this. We just put out the PO-op as a joke, just to get everyone laughing and focused on creativity. And there's already an icon of a long Neckie bat in our Discord in the Q&A that has been custom made. That, like, literally, if you look at the Q&A, it literally is just scrolling this bat and this long Neckie vampire, and I love it. But like, Nyla, I mean, how has real-time feedback from the community impacted you as an artist, if you don't mind me asking?
I feel like it inspired me to keep on going, honestly, as artists. I mean, sometimes I feel like I kind of get discouraged, or like I feel like I can't really do anything. But I feel like with the positive feedback, it kind of lifts my spirits in a way. If that kind of makes sense.
And have you gotten negative feedback at any point, Nyla? I mean,
um,
I'm very protective of you, as you know, like, and as your mom knows. But like, have you been in places or rooms or spaces where you felt like you've gotten feedback where it hurt a little bit, like, from the community, or has it been primarily positive for you?
I'm pretty positive. I don't think I really had any like bad experience in the community. I feel like the bad thoughts kind of come through from myself sometimes. Just like doubting myself. But no, really, the community has just been super positive.
And Kat, like, what would be your advice to what Nyla just said? Like, the bad thoughts come from herself.
That's just life as an artist. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just this constant insecurity that you're battling, that no one's going to like what I'm making, and no one's going to hear what I'm creating, or no one's going to watch what I'm doing, and or people aren't going to react a certain way. It's just, that's just the life and the insecurity of most artists. And it's a gift and a curse, right? The gift of it is that you keep striving to do better and more, and break your own boundaries. And then the negative is sometimes it can be crippling. It's just kind of the inner battle.
Have you had a moment that you would feel comfortable sharing that was like crippling, and how you powered through it?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people know me from, a show that I spent 8 years of my life doing and being devoted to. And, but
What
I was
show?
it
What
was
show?
Vampire Diaries. Yeah. And
Oh, is that why
I,
we did this co-op? Is that?
maybe you did it for that. And I would have, crippling insecurities because I was not only the only um, African American in the cast, but I was the only Jewish girl in the cast. I was the only, I was also dancing and doing music at the time. I was, also an activist and a humanitarian. And, I was kind of the only me. And the insecurities that come from being the only you can really be hard, but you got to persevere, and then you find other people that in an audience that also relates to you, and they make everything so worth all of the difficult moments for sure.
So you bring up actually a really interesting point, and this is, all kidding aside, right? Like, while I'm Keith, and I represent the brand of Time. And the reality is that you're Cat, and you represent the brand of Cat. And so, and
Mm,
Nyla too, right? Like, you represent the brand of Nyla, but the brand of Nyla and the brand of Cat are you as individuals, whereas the brand of Time, I'm just a steward of time. Does that make sense? Like, I'm in service of time, and I'm making sure that it's being steered in this Web3 direction properly, and respecting its heritage, and moving it forward. And so when you're managing yourself and the brand of you, you have to think totally differently than when you're managing like a brand that's also like a depersonalized extension. But like, you talked about like the fact that you were an activist, and like, I think, and just so everyone knows, Kat is a UN humanitarian, and like, it's an amazing sort of for refugees, and like, it's amazing what she does with her platform. But when you do that, because it's a personal passion, you also bring your community in with you, right? And
mm, yeah.
Nyla, I know that you are thinking about like, how do you use your platform for good too? Like, will you just talk for a second of like how you think about the brand of Cat, and then applying the brand of Cat for the maximum good of the world outside of your profession of acting, dancing, singing, and what other cockamamie stuff you do, to get paid?
Cockamamie. That's about right. Um, that God, that's such a great point. We had a great conversation about this with a few other people. I feel like I was like now a couple years ago, and it's important to merge the two. But it's so great because I didn't think that when I was doing my work, and I come from refugees. My grandmother was in the Holocaust, and my grandfather fled the Civil War in Liberia. So that's you have to find the things that are authentic to you. A lot of companies, huge brands I talk to, they wonder, what can I do? What can I do? And I think authenticity is really important. Even in the NFT space, just being your authentic self, like Nyla said, is really important. And I think that that is really what brings my audience in, is because they see that I really care about what I do, that I really, love the UNHCR, the refugee agency, and all of these heroic people that devote their time day in and day out for the protection of so many great people. And people that are vulnerable, people that need support, people that need their stories told on a bigger platform. My audience sees me, and they see that that is something that I love, and that I care deeply about, and then they start caring about it too. They connect to it in a different way than they might have otherwise.
And Nyla, I mean, to you, as you start thinking about this, I know you are thinking about this. Like, what are you thinking about as it relates to, you do have such a passionate audience, right? And they love you, and they look to you. And I know that you have all intent of like thinking about like what I can do. Like, how are you thinking about this?
Well, I feel like I just really want to inspire people, honestly. That's how I'm thinking about it. I want to kind of inspire people from, all around the world. And that's kind of like my goal, basically. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do with the community and whatnot. But, I mean, and that's basically how I would say I would be branding it, kind of. But, yeah.
Well, you're doing an amazing job with Kids on the Blockchain. Like, can you tell everyone a little bit about what Kids on the Blockchain is, and like why you started that?
I'm sure. It's basically just like a safe place for like kids to go, to share the artwork and basically just be create artistic with each other basically. And yeah, that's basically it. But it's also like a safe place for learn more about NFTs, So yeah.
No, but
That's
I think
amazing.
Totally, right?
I
And
just
I
want
think
to
like
take a minute to just like process how amazing that is, and Nyla, that you're leading these young kids to find their voice in this space that even for adults can be so challenging and just shrouded in so much just mystery. Thank you for doing that. Like really, you're really inspiring me. I was such a chicken in this space. Keith is being really nice about it, but I wasn't. I didn't come willingly. It was like really
well,
difficult
it took
for me.
1 month. It took 1 month. It took 1 month.
For me, that's a long time because I decide something and it's done by the end of the conversation. But I didn't. I was so insecure about this space. But it does take people like you, Nyla, to say, you know what? It's okay. Like just try it. It takes people like Josh Katz and even I have Nifty Base here, which is exciting, and even my buddy Mikey. It takes people that have this, that are human, that humanize this crypto space.
You just have a buddy named Mikey. Does Mikey have a last
Yeah, my
name?
buddy Mikey is here.
You're like Mikey, like you just like a buddy named Mikey.
A buddy named Mikey. Michael Levine is here from Recur.
Well, okay. Is Mikey like the Pope? Like, is Mikey like Madonna? Like, it's just hilarious, though. I have a buddy named Mikey.
I don't think
Wait a
Mikey's
minute.
like Madonna. He's really cool though.
No, if he's here, let's bring Mikey up, right? And there we go. Oh, he's Mikey. Perfect. And then if Nifty Base can come on up too, and if you're,
Josh,
you know,
Nicole,
oh, yep,
all my homies. So
perfect. Hold
Keith,
on.
what you started was a snowball, right? Like this conversation, once I actually understood it, became a snowball effect. So I became and started working with all of these incredible NFT platforms, companies, and now we're all working together for to make this world a little better. So I'm excited that everyone's here and that
Where's
everyone could come.
Darren? Where's Darren? Is
Dejanay's.
he? Come on, let's go, Darren. Get up
There
here.
he is, the bull. He's the bull at the bottom. I see him.
Hold on, I'm trying to get Yellow Heart up. I don't know why it's not allowing. And so, oh, perfect. So Josh Katz is up, and so before we jump into Yellow Heart and Nifty Base and Mikey and what you're doing, like I guess I want to turn it over. First off, Mikey, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I don't mean that to diminish Nifty Base or Josh at all, but I've heard a
I feel
lot
like
about
the
you.
Pope right now. This is great. No, night. Thanks for having me here, and Kat. We've been working together for some time now, and it's just great to have this medium. And what do we have? 227 people, and everyone in here is probably doing amazing things. So thanks for having this, Keith. Thanks for putting this on in your Discord. Happy to be
No,
here.
I mean this is a pleasure, right? Like Nyla means a tremendous amount to us and to the timepiece community. As our first artist in residence is someone who I've known for a good year now, and Kat, I think the world of. And I want to talk about what you all are doing and not just what Kat's doing, because I think it's super important to see the evolution of what the NFT space can be. But before we go, like I wanted to see if you all could introduce yourself to the audience and sort of explain your unique role in bringing together Kat's Toro Gato album today. And Kat, you better kick Darren or something and tell him to raise his hand so I can bring him up on stage.
I don't know. You guys, he's my life, love, and work partner. I don't know. He's also, this is our first time on Discord. So,
Oh, there we go. I got him up on stage. Perfect.
he's somewhere here. So I want
got
to
him.
kind of, I'll start the snowball, right? So the first snowball really happened with Yellow Heart, with having a conversation with Nicole and saying, this is what I want to do. I want to release these records as an NFT. I want to do something different. And her not saying, sorry, that's not what we do. I don't know, because I had conversations with people that were like, that's not going to work. We don't have the format for it. So I'd love, Josh and Nicole to talk a bit about that and how they kind of cracked this open. and how they've expanded that, you know. And
I
Nyla,
love
by the
it.
way, like this is our you know, this is our hangout. So if there's anything that you're interested in, or something that you know, I want to learn from you too, because I'm still learning. So if there's anything that we say or they say that, you know, you're interested in, like, I want to know too, because it's probably something that I don't know either.
Yeah, cool.
So I could kind of kick it off and from the Yellow Heart side. So, I mean, firstly, working with Kat, working with you on this project has just been so incredible. You are a creative genius, and the art that you have put together that has now become this full audiovisual masterpiece that we had the privilege of releasing on the Yellow Heart platform is just such an honor and something that I will be cherishing for my entire career. I think it was such a perfect fit for what Yellow Heart was looking to do. Josh founded this company to give back to creators, to give back to artists, and Yellow Heart literally means to work with a heart of gold and to do everything out of the goodness of your heart and be kind. So I think being able to give you your power back to release this album how you wanted to do it at the time that was right for you on the platform that in such a way allowed you to have control over the distribution is really special. And everyone at Yellow Heart has just been so passionate about this project. We literally built this streaming capability that was inspired by your artwork. After we released Toro Gato Part 1, we built this state-of-the-art streaming capability that only allows NFT holders to unlock the content that's held within the NFT. So the only people that can listen to your album are the people that, you know, your true fans, the ones that really want to listen to your music, they're the token holders. And I'll send it over to Josh because I think he has a unique perspective on this as well.
Thanks, Nicole. Well, first of all, I want to say that, you know, Keith and Kat, listening to you guys is incredible. The energy that you guys have between you is really special, and that obviously is something that, you know, just comes from years and years of you guys having obviously a tight bond. So very cool to
No,
be
listen, I appreciate it. I find Kat rather exhausting.
Well,
we find
Keith, I love Keith so much. He's one of my favorite people in the entire universe. He's just a supreme genius, and has the best soul, the best heart. I tell Mark Benioff, you picked the best president you could have. He's just a trailblazer. I love you, Keith. You're just a genius. You really are.
You are such a
Yeah.
trailblazer, and so are you, Kat. And you know, just listening to the two of you, obviously with a long history, is just I've been sitting here on mute, just like the biggest smile on my face listening to you guys. So thank you for that. You know, I'll just say that, you know, us as a company, you know, last year was an interesting year where if you think about it, most people 1 year ago at this time didn't know what an NFT was. And, you know, it came on like a storm, you know, really in the second quarter of last year. And us as a company, you know, we started off as a ticketing platform, building NFT tickets with Live Nation back in 18 and 19. And, you know, we pivoted where we used our tech to start releasing music. We launched it with the Kings of Leon NFT drop in, you know, March of last year. And from there, it was really about, you know, what could we do to help the creator? You know, as Nicole mentioned, our company is all about creating a direct relationship between fan and artist. And we see our job actually as just getting out of the way. That's kind of where we want to be, where creators for the longest time have suffered from a massive middleman population eating off of them and really just taking their money. So, you know, to have a project like this come down the pike when we met Kat and understood her vision of wanting to remain truly independent, own her copyrights, own her material, be able to sell it direct to the fan, and have them then have the ability to say, okay, you know what, this album's great, but for whatever reason I need money or anything else, I could resell it and have it live within this, you know, NFT ecosystem was incredibly exciting. And then when it came down to the actual content, that was it. I'll never forget putting on Kat's record in my house, you know, on a Friday night while my family and I were kind of still in, you know, a little bit of COVID mode, and we were like cooking dinner, and we're like, "Oh, this album's insane! Oh my god!" And that's really what it comes down to is like we're all in as artists, as fans, it's all about just great art, music, art, animation, all the different things in these mediums, and just like to have music like this come across, plus the visual component is just it's just incredible. So it's been an honor to really take this on and work with it. And that's what we've just been all about. It's just trying to find amazing content. And we've kind of saw our job at Yellowheart as frankly often having to just say no. And the no being that, hey, if you don't have a real vision around your content, you don't have an idea about putting out true art, then, it doesn't make sense for us. We're not in the money grab business. We're not in the business of jumping on trends. We're in the business of putting out true art. And, that comes from the heart, it comes from the soul. And with Kat, it's been incredibly intrinsic and just an absolute honor. So, thank you, Kat.
Wait, can I ask a question about so I love this that the only people who can listen to this album is if they have the NFT, correct? That's how it
That's correct. What we
okay.
did, which was really interesting, Keith, is, originally when we put out music, Kat's, first album and also, Kings of Leon and some other things we've done, we've put it out on IPFS, which, technically means that anyone could go find it and listen to it. So what we did literally for this album is we built out technology that the content of the NFT actually is not hosted on IPFS, and the NFT acts as a way to unlock it and listen or watch it. So you literally cannot even access it unless you own the NFT.
So where can if I because we have 245 people in the audience, right? Like where do we get this NFT? Cat with Nyla stuff, I know I can go to Opensea and I can go to Long Neckie Ladies, I can go to Long Neckie Feelings, I can go to Nyla and Timepieces. Where do I get this piece? And Nicole, can you put a link in the Q&A or Josh, can you put a link in the Q&A for the audience? And can you explain the process?
Yeah, it's actually quite simple. You go to yh.io, or you download the Yellowheart mobile app, and you could buy it with a credit card, with Ethereum if you want. And it's quite a simple process. And then you actually need the Yellowheart app or on the web, you could listen to it and watch the videos. Then you could broadcast it to your TV for the videos. So it's a pretty simple process, yh.io or just the Yellowheart mobile app.
And it's the community token that you then ultimately get, or what is it that? Can you explain that? Because I have the community token, and I'm looking at it right now. And Kat, you're fizzling back and forth. You're like jiggling, right? So what do I do with that?
So there's a couple of different things here. The community token was from Kat's first drop, which we wanted to just kind of build Kat's community out. So here, there's a couple of different offerings. So there's the Toro Gato Part 2, which is a $10 album. There's the deluxe edition, which includes, Part 1 and Part 2, which is a $20 album. Then Kat put together some really deluxe packages that include redeemable vinyl and cassettes in one of them, where Kat literally made vinyl and cassettes that are, you could buy, listen to it through the NFT, plus you could redeem and have those physical items, sent to you. And then there's another deluxe package that includes vinyl cassette and a Toro Gato hoodie, which is so dope, by the way, that can be redeemed as well as a physical.
I
Get
love
you a
my
hoodie.
hoodie. I listen to me, with my Times Kids shirt, I will wear it any day.
No, this is a sick hoodie. I need one of these too, Kat.
Didn't you make it?
Alessio, who he designed it, and he's pretty amazing.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow.
we want to do physical redeemables. I mean, a lot of people's argument about NFTs are, oh, they're easily copied and blah 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 blah. So, to combat that, I'm like, well, there's only a certain amount of physical things that you can actually touch that are a part of this collection, and vinyl and cassettes and hoodies and we did these really cool patches too that iron-on patches that people can do. So, there is a limited amount of things physically and also digitally. So
Now,
it's been a journey, It's so
this is
cool.
very cool. This is very cool. And Nyla, I like that you're hearing this because I know what you're thinking about, as you start to develop the brand of Nyla. And I think this is really an interesting model for you to think about. Just to put that in the back of your mind for our next conversation. But Darren, how are you, my friend? Darren, you have to take yourself off mute if this is your first time on Discord.
There he
Hey,
goes.
Keith.
How are you?
Me?
I do.
I'm good, Keith. How are you,
I have
man?
a real,
This is very cool.
I know, right? Like I have a question for you throughout all of this, right? Did Kat make you buy her album?
I paid for the deluxe package, so I am in line to get all of the merch and get to see the videos we made, and I'm excited. So yes,
When
Awesome.
he
absolutely
said
double
he
down.
made, he made them. He is, you know, for Darren is an ASC award winning cinematographer director. He's amazing, and I'm lucky to call him my spouse. And he agreed to just we shot all of these amazing videos, and with Yellow Heart, we were able to turn them into NFTs. So these are, you know, these music videos that are also a part of this album. So it's a full collection. It's a visual album. It's a it's a music album. It's, you know, it's merch. It's a whole world. So sorry to interrupt. I just, you know, I love it so much.
I listen. This is it's awesome, and you know, like this now brings me to my next question, which is what actually started this snowball, which was Mikey, right? The Pope, right? And so, like, we understand Darren's involvement, we understand Yellowheart's involvement. So, Mikey, like, I want to turn it over to you for a second. You know, what's your sort of perspective on all of this, and you know, you're like, I would love to sort of hand the stage to you.
Of course, and thank you. So Kat and I worked together for, you know, I'm trying to think back when, but for years doing brand partnerships, which is a traditional space. Nothing to do with NFTs. Didn't know what NFTs were, and this was at WME when I was at WME. And then I fell into the rabbit hole. And next thing you know, I told Kat, hey, I'm leaving WME to go work in this NFT business full time. And
Wait. When did you tell her that?
Kat, do you know when that was? I mean,
I would say I was still kind of finding my footing. It was definitely before I worked with Nifty Base and Heartwater. Michael Dadashi is here, by the way. So I'd love when we start talking about, you know, humanitarian work within the NFT space and using NFTs for good. I definitely want Michael to come on stage. So I don't know who's in charge of that, but please let's get Michael.
Just tell him to
But
raise his hand.
I was so, you know, Mikey has been somebody who has been one of the most stable people that I've ever worked with in regards to just business, all the brand deals we've done together over the years. I mean, he was somebody that was just the most reasonable, logical person I'd ever worked with in my team ever. So the fact that he said, and he called me one day and said, hey, I know that this is going to come as a shock, and, you know, kind of brace yourself. And I was like, oh no, I knew it was coming. But when he said, I'm going to work in the NFT space full time, that really inspired me to stop being so insecure about about even trusting you, Keith, and trusting myself. And even Darren was like really bringing some great information to me that I wasn't necessarily, you know, moving with. I was so insecure about being in this space. But once Mikey said that he was going to make that move, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I need to follow you, Keith. I need to follow, you know, my friends that are really brilliant people that don't just do things half-ass, but really wholeheartedly jump into the pool. So I'm sorry, Mikey, can you talk about like what Recur is and what you're doing there, and how navigating and building the space with them?
of course.
And wait a minute, hold on, Mikey. Yeah. Mikey, one of my favorite names just popped up in Q&A. Heater Boom Beater. Okay, who said, I met Mikey in Miami at NFT Now Recur Party. Every time I say Heater Boom Beater, I get, tons of comments in the Q&A, so I just had to call it out. I was just shocked that you jump on and Heater Boom Beater pops into the Q&A again, and I just wanted to pause for that. So sorry. So Mikey, it's back to you.
I love it. And by the way, being called reasonable and logical, that boosted my ego. Thank you, Kat. But no, as far as taking the leap, I had so much conviction in this space being the future. That it was actually easy for me to take this leap. And because, not only did the NFT space birth a new creative outlet and culture, but it also created, a new revenue stream to truly help creators and businesses alike. So when we talk about doing good, there's been so many initiatives that have put forth those revenues towards charitable causes. Now, I forgot what the initial question was, but what was the question?
It was, what is Recur?
Yeah. Something that Kat and Recur have alike is, we have these, basically Recur, I'll just get it. We're a company that builds these white labeled NFT experiences for some of the most world-renowned IP and brands. So we've announced partnerships with, NCAA teams, Viacom CBS, Hello Kitty and Sanrio, and Care Bears. And like Recur and Kat, we both have a brand name, and we're stewards to a brand. Kat's brand, like you said, Keith, is Kat. Ours is our brand partners, but we have these traditional non-crypto native users, and we're really pioneering them into this space, these millions and millions of fans into this NFT space, which I think is just an unbelievable space for the greater good. There's so many initiatives that are coming for it for not just, businesses, but creators, and this new revenue stream and these revenues to go back to these charitable causes. So I know all of us on this stage are doing incredible things, and if you're listening in the audience, being a part of this, you're part of something special.
Mikey, tell Keith about the community wallet and like what that's about and how you're using that to help.
Yeah, definitely. So our first launch was December, I want to say 9th or December 3rd or 9th. And instead of, putting forth the brand partners, we decided our first drop would be around our own IP, and we dropped 24 hours unlimited edition of these branded membership passes. They're called Recur passes for early access, early pre-beta access. And we sold over 64,000 in 24 hours. Each was priced at $300. And just to talk about some of the good initiatives going on in the NFT space, what we did is for all secondary sales going in perpetuity, 100% would go into this community fund, in which we would use those funds to, support individual artists, creators, Web3 adoption, and just all around education into this space. So there's so many things like that with these programmable NFTs that you could really just like never before use that technology for the greater good.
So I love that. I mean, I don't know, we at first didn't really talk about this, but I look at this not only as one of the most transformative moments in our lives. I think we're entering a 20-year cycle of transformation from consumers being renters online to owners online, and it's going to be just unbelievable. But it's also a tremendous reset, like an economic reset. And like what you just highlighted there, I think is like one of the best aspects of this NFT space and the application of a smart contract for secondary revenue streams, right? And with timepieces, and I've said this a few times recently, the first 1% of the primary and the secondary sales all go to charity. And right now, the charities are charities that support free democratic presses. And then the remaining 99% of the primary and the secondary sale is split evenly between the artist and time. And like that is a completely different model. And I mean, right, Nyla, like, is that not it was like a fun, weird, interesting new model to explore.
Yeah.
Right? No, it's just like, and I know we have a lot of timepiece artists in the audience too. But I think that it for the creative community, right? Like there's this great Winston Churchill quote of, like during World War II, and I've said this quote a few times. The generals went up to him and said, Mr. Prime Minister, for us to continue to fight this war, we're going to have to cut the funding to the arts and the museums and And Churchill turned to them and said, "Then why are we fighting this war?" And like I kind of look at this moment in time and I'm like, wow, like we can really create an economic reset for the artistic community. And this is a really, really wonderful moment to sort of literally clean the slate of like what's been wrong in the previous structures that have been set up. So I love hearing that. And by the way, in the comments, there are people that say that they have a bunch of the recur passes. And so it's really fun. Shayna Wilson, who's an artist, Kat, I don't know how you want to direct it or who to direct it to, had a question where she said, "I just watched the Toro Gato trailer. Because this is all new, i.e. music NFTs, like what is the trailer for? And also who did the creative? It's fabulous, right?" So
But by the way, Shauna Wilson was really, probably my introduction into timepieces because she included me in her collection.
I know. I thought you'd like that
Which
one.
was amazing. Yeah, well, I love you, Shauna. I'm so grateful that you included my image amongst these incredible women. How much did Keith pay you? What
I
was her
didn't do
question? Oh, she watched
her
it.
question
She watched
was she watched the trailer. First off, Mikey, in the Q&A, can you share the recur white label information in the Q&A?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. And so the question was she watched the trailer, and like music NFTs are really new to everyone, like even to me. Like I'm looking at what you're doing right now, and I'm just as much a sponge in music NFTs as you were a sponge in in visual NFTs, in static visual NFTs, or just moving NFTs. Like what was the question was two parts. What's the goal of the trailer, right? And then second, who did it because she thought it was absolutely fabulous?
Sure. Well, who did it is Darren, the bull on stage, Darren Janae, and he shot everything and directed everything, and it's edited everything, and just blew me away. It's interesting. Like, what is the point of art? And that's a great question. I am actually going to direct it to Nyla. What is the point of art? Why do you make art? Why would an artist make anything and put it out? Nyla, what do you think?
I think to just be creative, honestly. To express themselves, kind of, or express how they felt or feel at that exact moment.
Right.
That's what I think.
Exactly. That's what I think too. You have something to say, right? So you create art. And when Darren and I created Toro Gato, we weren't thinking about, necessarily the platform. We just had something to say, and we wanted to do this project about self-exploration and use sounds that were, that lived in a very trip hop ethereal space. Like, we love Massive Attack and Darren, who's some other artists that we really had been listening to a lot when we were, when this record was coming together. God, there's so many great people. Erica Badu, Portishead, and all of
Yeah,
these really.
Portishead was a big one, and then we, in terms of like the trip hop and the visuals all coming together, we liked. There were some artists coming through, like Frank Ocean did like a visual album, that Beyonce's Lemonade. So we really were inspired in this idea of taking the sort of music and the themes behind that and really putting sort of visuals behind it. And because it did feel like such a sort of a narrative and a sort of a recurring theme through the songs. So yeah, a lot of that. But musically, yeah, there's a lot of Massive Attack and Portishead and all of that sort of trip hop stuff.
By the way, so in the Q&A, Chris Mattman, who is the chief technology officer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, just goes, "Man, Portishead, that got me remembering Modest Mouse and all those OGs." So, Darren, I think that you literally just made his day and probably slowed down a Mars rover somewhere.
I'm okay with that. Maybe we can get the NFT broadcast onto the rover.
Yeah, So wait, so I actually there's a question. There's a question. Now we have a whole entire thing from Vincent Mango. Love Modest Mouse, right? Like so now we're going down the whole Modest Mouse. I actually love Modest Mouse too, and I haven't thought of them in a while. So so I do appreciate where this is going. Amir Mandoir has a question for Yellowheart. Which is, can you only listen to the YH.io, to the music on YH.io? And does it only show the album cover on Opensea? Like, can you explain, like, when you have the album cover, like, where can you listen to the music and just explain that a little bit more? Again, musical NFTs are so new to all of us, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. So right now, the only place to listen to it is on YH.io or through the Yellow Heart mobile app. My belief is that this is pretty new, and in time that will start to evolve. Everything that we do at Yellow Heart, as we try to, work with music, work with tickets, work with, great art, is about evolving. And our hopes is that, this is a first and that, will evolve, but we hope the whole overall industry evolves and the artists push the evolution. But to just get back to the question, it must be listened to right now, either in the Yellow Heart mobile app or on the website, YH.io.
No, thank you so much. Like this, it is super early in the music space. It is so interesting. Kat, there's a question from Sacraluna to you, which is, when you performed at South by Southwest, was this the beginning of Toro Gatto's sound?
Oh yeah. Totally. So yeah, right. This was like pre-pandemic. I had gone to South by to kind of tinker around and figure out, how I wanted this to sound live. So yeah, it wasn't the beginning actually started 5 years ago. I think actually a bit longer because I was running around um, doing beats for David Blaine, one of my oldest friends, and I was about 18, 19. And some of the beats he never used, some of them he did for some of his specials. But
He
when I
made
was
them
thinking
disappear.
about the sound, he he made some of those beats disappear. Yes, Keith. There you go. I was waiting for a dad joke. Finally.
Hold on, wait.
Um,
In full disclosure, I hosted a Twitter Spaces the other day, and like half of the conversation on the Twitter Spaces was about dad joke. And then it turned out that in the Toy Boogers Discord, if you type in !dad in the Toy Boogers Discord, it has an automated dad joke generator and it just throws out a bad joke. And so like I was sitting there laughing so hard on this, so I couldn't resist that dad joke because I'm just in a dad joke state of mind. So sorry, go back to
that's amazing. Yeah, you love your dad joke. So some of the strings I had recorded, gosh, like forever ago, like back in like 2009. And I hadn't really looked at the records again. And I had kind of put my producing away for a while because I went into some label system that was telling me that, hey, record these songs that somebody else wrote and some other person, had demoed already, and just do this and go here and wear this, that I kind of, it took a lot of my power and my confidence away being in this, being in the label system when I was on Interscope and A&M, which, Keith, when I think about how you've been mentoring Nyla and how empowered, she is, it also has a lot to do with you and all, I didn't have that. I didn't have anyone saying, you create the art you want to create, you go for it, you go for your vision. I was I have a degree in recording engineering and I couldn't use it. Nobody was interested. So, I had these records that I'd been sitting on. And the only person that really believed in me was my buddy, this magician. And then that was it. And no labels were interested. So yeah, the process to go back to South by was starting to kind of get more comfortable in my skin as a producer again and say, well, maybe the records that I was working on a million years ago are not so bad. Maybe I was on to something back then, I think if there's any artists in this audience, and I'm sure there are,
There are,
stop.
I will tell you, I'm just looking at it. I could tell you, I could name 15 artists in the audience right now that I could see that are amazing artists.
Then my advice to you guys is stop second guessing yourself. Like, apply to be an artist in residence at Timepieces. Like, put yourself out there. Like, take that step, forward. You don't know what's on the other side of your fear. Just go for it. I feel like I wasted a lot of years not going for it, like second guessing my art. And I wish I had a Keith in my life when I was, 13, 16, 18, even, even, in the 2000s. Like, I wish I had that person saying, you're doing great. Keep making your art. You got it,
Well, in fairness, Will.i.am did that for you. No?
A little bit. I did for if we're going back into the archive, I had sung this record
Well, we
called I
went all
Got
the
It
way
From
back
My
to
Mom.
Parent Trap, right? We went back to when you
Yeah,
were
well,
8.
you
By
did.
the way, by the way,
You
I'm gonna
did.
find this and I'm gonna put it in the Q&A, a picture of you in Parent Trap. Like, this is,
No,
it's
you're
too
not.
good.
No, you're
Um,
not.
wait, wait, but go back. Like, I mean, because you did have some mentors, no? Like, I mean, like, I feel like you did.
Not really. Not really. Will liked the fact that I was this kind of young beat maker, and we had tried to do this girls group, develop this girls group together called the Girls, which was going to come out of his album Songs About Girls, which I did 2 hooks for. And after the album didn't do very well, and after tour ended, because I had done a world tour with him, everything just hit a standstill. That was at a time where, Jimmy Iovine was starting to make headphones and the industry was shifting and changing. And, I don't blame Will. He didn't want to develop a whole new project with an unknown artist. And I don't want to say got shelved because we're still friends to this day, but I definitely hadn't recorded with him since. And I was, after this huge world tour, I was back to, living in this 1-bedroom apartment with, 86 cents to my name, being like this broke artist. And then, I guess either a few weeks or a couple months later is when I booked Vampire Diaries. So I would balance doing this show with making records and flying back and forth to LA to Atlanta, to LA to Atlanta. I wouldn't say I really had a mentor until my acting coach in 2009. But, before then I was pretty much, a lone wolf trying to, make it.
So, I want to come back to this in 1 second, but I need to pause because just Nyla, just so you know, I posted a picture of Kat Ghram when she was in the Parent Trap, juxtaposed
No.
with a picture of her today. It's amazing. In the Q&A, everyone can see it. It really is the cutest thing on the planet. But like, what was your big break, right? Because here's you just said something that I think was really interesting, and I hear people writing, or I see people writing. I'm not Perrin. I can't turn what I hear into visual cues, but yeah, Perrin's one of our timepiece artists who can do that, which is amazing. But D Dot, who's an amazing infrastructure engineer, just said, "I'm cyberbullying you, Kat," with that picture.
Thank
So,
you for somebody said it.
right.
That's okay. You guys don't know. I bully Keith all the time.
Yeah, she's actually very mean to me offline. She kicked me once. No, what was, people don't see that side, right? I have 86 cents to my name, and I'm like I don't know what I'm gonna do. How, when you went from that to booking Vampire Diaries, what was your big break moment? What was it that led to that? Because I feel like for some people who might be lost or looking for their ways, you didn't have that choreographed. You didn't know, it was sort of serendipitous, right? And so can you sort of
No,
explain
I thought
that?
yeah. Yeah, I thought I was going to be an artist. I thought I was going to be this beat making dancing machine that had hit records, and that was it. Like, if you would have told me that I was going to be, a famous actress that that was known for not dancing and not making music, I would have laughed in your face. You know, this world is so unpredictable. You know, you never know what's going to be the thing that people connect to. You really can't predict it. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, this NFT is going to be a hit and I'm just going to make a bunch of cards and collectibles and everyone's going to want it. And then if it doesn't do well, you're just like, man, I was sure it would. It's like, I don't know. You know, maybe there's an algorithm to it and I'm just not privy to that knowledge. But as an artist, I've just given up trying to figure out what actually was the moment that it clicked and I became pop. Like, what was that moment? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. It just feels like yesterday I was in some apartment with my mom, just struggling to get a meal together, you know? And now I'm talking to freaking Keith Grossman of Time Magazine about
No,
this,
just
project.
wait,
Like
wait.
I just, it's that moment. I'm like, where did the
I have
bridge
to pause this
happen?
for a second. I have to pause this for a second. So this is amazing. The other night, Yes Jules bought a bunch of Nyla's timepieces. And she started with the Sinead O'Connor, right, Nyla? And then she bought the Marilyn Monroe. And
Oh, she
she
bought
wants,
Marilyn Monroe. I wanted that
she,
one.
well, there's 10 of each. Just go and get one. Like, are you kidding? Like, what's wrong? I'll
No,
send
I
you the
thought it was
link.
only one of each. I thought that there was
No,
only
there's
multiple.
one red border of each, but there's 10 of each, but each one has a unique background, right? But here's what this is the punchline is that Yes Jules was so blown away by Nyla's work that she invited her on to talk about like female empowerment and what she's doing, right, Nyla? Like, so like I know you have to go in a second, but Kat, can you stay on to continue this conversation for a minute?
I'll stay on. I want to hear about this though, Nyla.
Huh? Oh, okay. Well, I actually have a spaces to go to soon, but I just wanted to say congratulations to you, and I really love your music, and I'm super happy to actually meet you today. And you really inspired me.
You really inspired me. I wish that I had your courage when I was 13 and I didn't doubt myself, and this is just the beginning, and you're just the coolest. You really, really are.
Oh,
Hey,
thank
Nyla,
you.
Mincent Mango, just in the Q&A after posting a long Neckie baddie or vampire wrote that he has the Eleanor Roosevelt. And like I got to tell you, like I really love how much people love owning and having your pieces. Like they whether it's the long necky ladies or any of the pieces, like everyone who owns one of your pieces is just so proud to have it. And Pew Pew, just so you know, like Pew Pew wrote like so proud of you, Nyla. Like I want you to just go into the Q&A, Nyla, before you leave and just look at it, because everyone is sending you so much love. Like this community just thinks the world of you and what you're doing. And so we all just want to say thank you. Oh, like Heater Bomb Beater, love my Queen Elizabeth II by Nyla. I mean, it's just like, it's so wonderful, right? And so, Nyla, you're the best.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Keith. Thank you for having me, guys. Goodbye.
Anytime. Have a wonderful one.
We love you.
Love you.
So Kat.
She's amazing. Oh my gosh.
She's amazing. She's
How did
absolutely amazing. Wait, let's no. So this is what happened was I was hosting like one of my clubhouse rooms back in the day about nothing. And like, remember when you and I did that, where I called you up and I was like, I'm so bored. What are you doing? And you're like, I'm so bored. You're like, you want to just like have a room about nothing, right? Yeah, totally. So I did this. I did this room about nothing. And John Knopf, who's a timepiece artist, shows up with Trish Reed, who's, an artist as well within the space. And they both have long necky ladies. And it was the day that Nyla was minting her long necky ladies and for 0.033 ETH. And so I was like, what is this? And they're like, it's this 12-year-old girl, Nyla Hayes, and like she came up with this idea for female empowerment and combining it with like her favorite dinosaur, the Brontosaurus. And I'm like, this is the cutest thing on the planet. And like, for everyone in the audience who doesn't know this, I mean, I know you know this, Kat. Like, I have an 8-year-old daughter, Ellie. And it's, by the way, I'm a great father for a daughter. I'd be a terrible father for a dad, I'd be a terrible father for a boy, because my daughter just beats the crap out of me nonstop and puts me in my place. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, a 12-year-old girl did this, and this is amazing. And so I went and I minted a few, and then all of a sudden the whole room turned into people who had the long Neckie ladies as their avatars. And then all of a sudden it turned into Nyla and her mom Latoya entering in the room. And so I brought them up on stage, and the room swelled to like 500 people, and all of them had long Neckie lady avatars. And I brought everyone who had a long Neckie lady avatar up onto stage on the condition that if they disrespected Nyla because she's 12, right, that they would be booted out, right, and that they would not be there. And from that day forward, like, I was just so enamored with Nyla and her mother Latoya, and like the family, like, is such a wonderful, wonderful family, and just was like always there, and like, hey, like, let me, like, I'll give you advice to look this way or that way. And John Knopf has become a very dear friend of mine, and like he's very like involved in making sure that they're always making the right decisions and thinking about the long game in this stuff. And we just became very close. And when we did our first drop, like, there were things that surprised us that were great. There were things that surprised us that we needed to sort of fix and work on for future drops, like the one we're doing right now. And if you're in the crowd, make sure you register, please, because I don't want to hear that someone missed the registration. We did it open for 5 days. We did a second drop, which was the Nyla drop, which was Nyla as the first artist in residence, because like, I just had this feeling she could think of something really special for our brand. And when she did the long Neckie ladies, the long Neckie women of the year, which is just so fun. Like, we looked at this and we were just like, this is just so genius. And it's so integrated into what we do. Oh my God. And Perrin just posted a clubhouse room of that. I think that was the first time I was on stage with Time, is what Perrin just wrote. But like that, like that's the history of us with Nyla was just, I met her coincidentally through a clubhouse room, the same way that I'd met Perrin through a clubhouse room, or others through clubhouse rooms, or through Twitter Spaces, and then we just became very friendly. And I saw there was so much talent there, and it's just so great to see her succeed. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I'm blown away. I know that nobody has all the time in the world, but I do want to take a second, because I know the theme of this chat was how our creativity and also using NFTs for good. Speaking of just things kind of falling into place, like with you and Nyla, I have a Modern Nirvana with Frankie and Brian, which is a wellness company that we founded, and we honored Deepak Chopra this past year.
Who we had, by the way, we had Deepak on stage earlier this week talking about mental wellness within the community. He was amazing.
Yeah, Deepak is the absolute best. He is somebody that I do consider a real mentor for me. But the sponsors of the Modern Nirvana conference were a company called Heartwater, and Heartwater has a foundation where they have rehab facilities, but they one of their big passions is using rainwater, and they have a water filtration system where they turn rainwater into drinking water, and they take out all the toxins and the impurities, and they're able to use this system and build this system and bring it to communities that don't have access to clean drinking water. And they said, would you be interested in working with us? And I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. This is what I would love to do something like this. And they said, well, yeah. And this is at the conference. I had no idea. They had no idea that I was working with Yellow Heart, that my buddy Mikey had left. They didn't know that, Darren was into NFTs. Like, had no idea about anything. And they said, yeah, we're working with a company called Nifty Base. And I'm like, that sounds kind of familiar. And I didn't know, right? And Chad from Nifty Base is here and, can kind of talk. I would love for him to just take the floor for a minute and talk about how we're using NFTs created by an artist by the name of Marcello to generate income to build this rainwater system for a community in the Rio Grande Valley in Texas.
Oh,
The
I love
Colonia.
this. Look at you. You come into the space kicking and screaming, and then the first thing you do is you push into music NFTs, which none of us are used to or know, and like start leading in that space, and then you're pushing towards good.
Well, you created a snowball. I caught the snowball and I threw it back at you.
Darren got offended and left when I said that. Do you see that?
Oh, I think he just got disconnected. You live in the
Darren was
deep
like,
south.
Darren's like,
Not good reception.
he's like, I can't take these compliments of Kat. But no, Nifty Base. I like,
He's used
I
to
want,
it. He lives with me. He's used to hearing about how much I love you. But anyways, Chad, talk about what we're doing. This is so exciting.
Yeah, let's do it. Kat, thank you so much, and Keith for having Nifty Base here. Like Kat mentioned, my name's Chad. I'm the lead engineer at Nifty Base, and I can kind of talk about the platform and how we partnered with Heartwater to launch this extremely special project to us. So just a little context, Nifty Base is an NFT creation launchpad that enables creators, brands, and builders to easily launch collections. And so like what that really means is we handle all the back-end technology, the complexity of smart contracts, to allow users to really focus on the artwork, utility, and the community that comes with NFTs. And launching on our platform is pretty simple. It's a 3-step process. We start with working with creators like Marcello, who designed all the artwork for Heartwater. And we fine-tune the artwork so that it can be generated into lots of combinations of the art, so typically known as like generative art or 10K PFP sets. And next we get all the collection details and iron out sort of the smart contract functionality features. And so we can handle things such as multiple whitelists, multiple sales, and kind of go into the depth to make the backend as customizable as anyone wants. And lastly, we provide a custom sales page on Nifty Base for the project so that the community can come and mint the NFTs. And like Kat mentioned, Heartwater's an extremely special project to us that's launching on Nifty Base because they're donating lots of water to help provide clean drinking water for a local community, the community that Marcelo is actually from in Rio Grande Valley, Texas. And so we're extremely excited to be working with Kat, with Marcelo, and if Michael's in the audience from Heartwater, I'd love to kind of pass the conversation to him to kind of go into more details. If not, that's just kind of the background of how we come into play here.
I mean, if you're here, raise your hand, Michael. Like, let me know. Let's see. Is that Rainmaster? I assume Rainmaster with the Heartwater is going to be him. That'd be very weird if somebody quickly changed their logo to Heartwater, right? And all of a sudden we get like a co-op farmer on stage, like trying to scream for the long Neckie vampire. I just invited him up. So, how are you?
Hey, you've actually got Michael and Ileana here. We're the founders of Heartwater.
Welcome to the stage. And so, like, will you tell us a little bit about your vision?
Yes. So again, Kat, thank you so much for inviting us on here. We're super excited to be on the stage with all the homies. No, but we're so excited to be on the stage with all of these really, revolutionary people that are doing amazing things in the world. So I really appreciate you guys having us.
Oh wait, can I pause before we jump in? Can you please share in the Q&A the website for Nifty Base? Was a question that I just want to make sure gets done, and then jump back over to Heartwater.
You'll also see a video that we shot while we were down in the Rio Grande Valley in the Colonias, where we actually visited this community that doesn't have access to clean drinking water. And Ileana and Michael, you can kind of talk about what you saw there and what made you want to start this initiative and how we can use NFTs for good.
Definitely, and we'll go ahead and share the video as well, just so that everybody can have that on the chat. But yeah, just to sum everything up, Ileana as well as Marcelo, who did the artwork for the Melting Hearts project, they're from the Rio Grande Valley, and Ileana has been volunteering there and trying to help that community for the past 5 years. She really got exposed to the community back in 2015. It's a shadow community. A colonia, just to give an overview of what a colonia is, it's a community that lacks infrastructure. It's refugees and immigrants, a lot of them undocumented, that live in this area that's been donated from private donations, and they get this plot of land, and it's really houses that are put together with plywood and just kind of makeshift homes that lack power and lack water infrastructure. So when Ileana was exposed to that, it's really always stuck in her heart that when we started Heartwater, she wanted that to be one of the first places that we really went and implemented our technology to help them. And what our technology is that we convert existing roof spaces or brand new roof spaces into rainwater harvesting technology, where we can actually create storage facilities for that rainwater, purify it to the highest quality, and provide potable drinking water to communities that lack infrastructure or that don't have access to clean, purified drinking water. And when we shared that with Kat, Ileana first shared that with Kat, like she mentioned at the Modern Nirvana event, it was immediate, heart-to-heart connection. And Kat was like, "Oh my God, I want to be involved. I would love to go down there with you guys and really see what's going on and see whatever we could do to pour our hearts out and to help this community." And that's where Marcelo came into the picture, because he is also from the Rio Grande Valley, and he's been Ileana's close friend for the past 15 years. He said, "Hey, I want to donate my art. I want to be involved. Just let me know what I need to do." And he created this amazing NFT PFP collection, donated it to this project, and he's just all in to also help as well. But yeah, from there we went down to the Colonia. We got to meet with the leaders in the community and meet with some of the residents, go tour their homes, and really just spend the whole day experiencing life in the colonias. And it really, I don't want to speak for Kat or for Ileana, but it really just impacted us, even more than we could even realize. Just spending the whole day there, seeing what life is like, when you lack water infrastructure, when you lack proper housing, when you lack power. And it just got us even that much more inspired and fired up to really do something to help this community, and to also do it in a new Web3 innovative way, which was to incorporate the NFTs, because our vision with the NFTs is, these unique pieces of art from a local artist. Not only are they amazing, and they're just, so connected to the community there because they're from a local artist, but the idea of having a smart contract to where the secondary sales and the secondary market could continue funding, this infrastructure that we're creating, and can continue giving back to this colonia, that was just revolutionary technology, and we just wanted to pioneer it and be involved in it.
I mean, it's so awesome what you're doing and what you're building. And, I think that, with every new technology, right, there's no technology that can be used for good that can't be used for bad. But in the beginning, if enough people use it for good, right, like hopefully we could shape the ecosystem towards positivity.
Right.
So
I remember when you had first got into this space, Keith, and you are just the connector of all connectors, and you had looped everyone in on an email, and you, like, some really powerful people, and I was lucky to be on that chain, and you were like, "Let's do something. Let's change. Let's use this new technology for good. Let's change the world." And that imprints on people, and it did on me, and now we're doing
that email was under NDA. No, I'm just joking.
Oh,
I'm just joking.
I didn't say who else was on it.
No, I just no, wait. So this is amazing. Like, this was only supposed to be a 50-minute conversation. It's now going on an hour and a half. No.
Sorry. I just now know so many great, amazing people because of you, because of this thing. And Heartwater is amazing, Recur's amazing, Nifty Base, Yellow Heart. Like these guys are you guys are all titans. I needed to get all the titans together.
No, like this is amazing, and what we're gonna do when we get out, we'll tweet out a link to Yellow Heart, and so that way people can get the Toro Gato album and check it out and whatnot. But I gotta ask you, you're first off, I'm so happy. An hour and a half in, like nearly the entire audience has stayed for the whole entire time, and it's so awesome. And I just want to say thank you to all of you.
Yeah. I'm excited. I would love to be a part of this. And I'm a part of this community, and it's an honor to be here with you guys. Really. It really is.
Hey, Kat, could I jump in for 1 sec? That'd be cool.
Of course.
So must tell you, I'm so inspired by Heartwater. I'm absolutely blown away by what I'm hearing right now. So, I think everyone knows that, when we sell NFTs, Yellow Heart takes a small fee on every NFT. So, what I want to do is I want to take 100% of our fees on the proceeds of this album. We're going to donate them to Heartwater.
Shut up! Are you kidding me? That is incredible, Josh, Kat. I don't know what to say.
No, I'm talking about the fees. Anything we take in on this, we're gonna hand over to you guys from the fees. And we just want to help Heartwater. I mean, I'm just honestly blown away by what you're doing. It's just incredible.
Oh my God, we are speechless. We are blown away. Like, again, I can't even describe that. That is just, it's incredible. We're literally speechless. You've literally filled our hearts up right now, and
my heart.
Man,
I think you literally brought tears to everyone's eyes, because I'm looking at the Q&A and every person is wow.
I'm so glad this isn't on video, because I'm like fully crying.
My God.
Thank you,
I'm
Josh.
Josh.
At the end of the day, what do we have in this world? We all are like happy to wake up every day and have food and like clean socks. And there's so many people. Like, can you imagine not having clean water? I mean, are you kidding me? What you guys are doing is so much more important, frankly, than what we're doing. I hate to say it. So I want to support you any way we can. So we should also discuss after this how we can support you even more. So.
Oh my God. We are just literally, Ileana and I are sitting here right now. Kat, Josh, like we have chills, like chills. All of our hair is standing up. We cannot even thank you enough.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm honestly, like Michael said, speechless. This is Ileana, Michael's wife and co-founder of Heartwater. I've just had, a really rough time this week, and that's why Michael's really doing the speaking. Long story, but we got diagnosis that my uncle has terminal cancer, and this was just like the best thing that I could hear right now. I'm just so grateful, and I don't mean to cry, but this is like amazing news, because you're gonna help so many people by doing that, and it's just the news that I needed to hear today. So thank you so much. I'm truly so grateful.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that, and thank you. What you guys are doing really helps people, and that's really what it's all about. It's frankly why I started Yellow Heart, was just really to just help artists, and then if we could take it further and help people that actually really need help just to live day to day, that's what it's all about.
Oh my God.
Thank you. I mean, just thank you. Michael and I are just so incredibly grateful working with Kat, and the Nifty Base team has been amazing, and I just can't wait to fill other people's hearts up.
Yeah. And to get this facility built, because those people's hearts are the ones that are really just going to be incredibly impacted for life. So I can't thank you enough, Josh.
Thank you guys. What you guys are doing is so much more meaningful than I could even express with words. It's just incredible.
Man, this is incredible. The yellow heart connected with the purple heart.
There you go. It's a heart connection. Heart to heart.
It is. It is.
Heart to heart,
Oh man. What?
Keith, look at your snowball.
Kat, look at what this is first off, I have chills. Second off, I'm looking at the Q&A, and I've never seen so many hearts in my life. And Josh, when we started Timepieces, we were very adamant in the beginning that this was a values-based community and that values would create value over time. And we wanted those values to be, optimism and positivity. We wanted those values to be, the ability to provide constructive, feedback. And also, what we would always jokingly at time call the Barat value, which was a value that we all have and believe in, but like Bharat just kept on saying it over and over, so we just called it the Bharat value, which was what we just simply were like hashtag give first. And like I mean, what you did, I think, caught all of us off guard and is amazing and is awesome on every level. And there's so many comments inside in this community that people were just saying like, this is what the timepiece community is about. And I just want to say thank you so much for this moment. I'm even speechless, and it's amazing and awesome. And thank you.
Oh, are you kidding me? Thank you, Keith. And you brought us all together here. So this is really, you matriculated this whole thing to happen right now, you and Kat. So
well, yeah, I'm going to give the credit over to Kat, right? Like, because she is just a gigantic heart in every sense whatsoever. And I don't know. So I'm going to actually do the greatest thing I can do when I don't know what to do. Okay. Which is I'm going to deflect to Lane to talk about POAPs for a second, because I don't know how to respond.
No, but thank you guys all for being here, and what an incredibly inspiring and energizing 90 minutes. I mean, like what an incredible ride this conversation was. So to circle back to our bat, if you would like to claim a POAP from today, we do have a special process here. So you're going to want to enter your wallet address in the channel directly above the time stage that says Nyla Cat POAP list. You'll enter your public wallet address there. The channel will be open for 24 hours and we'll issue the POAP tomorrow. So yeah, that's it. If you have questions about POAPs, ask the mods. They're here to help. And I think that's it. Thank you guys all. I mean, I'm in awe.
So this is what I'm going to say is I just took a screenshot of all the hearts that I just saw. So when I'm going to put it out on Twitter with a link to download your album with 100% of the proceeds going to Heartwater. And Kat, I'm going to actually give you the last words. And my ask of you is this: like, please don't make this about me in the last few words. Make this about you and what you do and you, the way that you make the world a better place. And please, I turn it over to you. And then after you're done, I'm going to close out the room.
Oh. I just
because this was the most amazing ending I could have ever asked for, like in a room.
Yeah,
Like, it was amazing.
I'm so grateful to you, Josh, Nicole, for just being so amazing. We all get asked, like, why do we do what we do, right? What is like our purpose of creating art, of creating platforms, of creating spaces? I really do think that it's to make the world better. And I hope that you guys feel inspired by today, by Nyla, and by Michael and Liana and Josh, Cole and Keith and Chad and Mikey, because this is a community. And I think if you guys walk with purpose, that this will be a better world. And I'm grateful for your time. Thank you.
I'm going to end the room. And Kat, can you please do me a favor and just look at the comments before you go and leave Discord? Just go to Q&A and just read it, because it's amazing. But thank you all so much for the time today. This was such a special discussion. This just exceeded any of my expectations. So, wow. I'm going to close this room.